Mingo from Impumelelo Innovation Awards Trust in Cape Town. We are attending an Indigenous workshop, Indigenous Peoples workshop in Peru, and I will be interviewing Chief Jhon Jansen about Indigenous issues and Indigenous people in South Africa. Now, the first question I have for you, Jhon, is if you look at South Africa and its past, in terms of the apartheid situation and the new democratic government, who are the people who qualify to be, who are indigenous?
The people in South Africa who qualifies to be indigenous is the so-called colored people of South Africa. We must remember this derogatory term or identity was imposed by the colonial system in South Africa, as well as the apartheid government in South Africa started from 1948. And it was also during that time that this colored term was legislated upon our people. And we are bearing the scars today emotionally, psychologically, of being labeled as colored. So therefore, it is our aim in South Africa, first of all, to get rid of that derogatory term colored. We see it as an inhuman term or identity that needs not to be recognized. And one huge disappointment for us now in the so-called New South Africa is that the ANC government, which we fought with to get rid of this derogatory term colour, surprised all of us to carry on with this terminology of label us as coloured. So therefore, it is our committed aim at this point in time, first of all, to get us recognized and to get rid of this derogatory term called colour.
Tell me, we are the majority of the indigenous people that is located in South Africa.
Yeah, the majority of our people being labeled coloured, they are situated in the south-western part of South Africa, in the Western Cape, called Western Cape. That is where we, as the indigenous people, are also the majority of people in the province of Western Cape in South Africa. So there's almost 4 million people situated in that part of South Africa.
Okay, if you say 4 million, then you mean indigenous colored people. What are the challenges that they face, do you think?
The challenges facing us as indigenous people in South Africa is not unique to all challenges right across the world with indigenous people. You find amongst the indigenous people the worst social destruction you ever find. You find gangsterism the highest, you find drug addicts the highest, you find alcoholism, alcohol addicts the highest, you find early teenage pregnancy the highest, you find disintegrated families the highest. So that kind of social ills exist amongst our people in South Africa. And as I've said, it's not unique to us in South Africa. My experience of my involvement as an activist for indigenous people is that that situation of the social ills you find all across the world amongst the indigenous people.
Tell me, what has been your interaction with the ANC government, and how do you foresee them? How do you see them relating to your concerns as indigenous people?
Well, for me as an indigenous person, it's quite clear that there's no future for a colored person under the government of the ANC in South Africa. They don't respect colored people. They don't recognize them because they are nothing. They are not a race. They are not a people. They are not a nation. So the future of the so-called colored people under this government of us currently in South Africa lies that they should restore their heritage. They should restore where they come from. They should recognize that, because why? It's not something that they should become that is foreign to them. They are indigenous. They are descendants from the first peoples of South Africa. And to heal us from that emotional and psychological scars of colonialism and apartheid, that is the first step that we need to take, is to restore our heritage as Khoisan, first indigenous peoples of South Africa.
Okay, what do you see the way forward in your struggles to have the indigenous people recognized?
I don't like to call this a struggle. I must be honest, I don't like to call that. Because why? I feel that we have won the struggle already. When we engage against apartheid, all of us, and you should know that, all of our people in labeled color play a very prominent leading role in the struggle against apartheid. And we felt during that time that we are all equal, and that was also the thinking and the way things have been dealt with, that we are all equal. So we were very prominent, so the struggle was already won. Things need to be corrected now.
What, as concluding remarks, what would you like to leave people with?
To leave people with, what I can say, I've said it so many times, the best thing that could have happened to me is when I restore my heritage. I thought I was free after our first democratic election in South Africa in 1994. But I can't compare that freedom to the freedom that I've experienced and still experience now, when, as an indigenous person, as a person created by God, as an indigenous person, that is freedom for me. And I would love all our people to have that kind of experience. Once you start to realize who you are, where you come from, and then the future will be much more brighter for you.